in my recording. Okay, what up, people? And this week, I learned already last week. I'm gonna have my midterm next week, so might as well make a video covering material that I need to study anyways. So here we're gonna make an array, and I'm just gonna make it. I'm not gonna do anything like add it like find the median or find the highest value in the array, but I'll just make it for you guys right now. Dot data, and we're gonna name it our array just AR. And then you could use dot word or dot space, but since this is like a simulator, cause I'm broke and I don't have like a processor that can handle this, we're just gonna do 5. No, let's do 10. We could do user input to check how many they want to use. That should be 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. And just make like a little prompt. So let's do how many elements would you like? Yes, sir. New line. I just drank a bang and I'm all bubbling. And let's put enter and a value. And let's do a new line. And then we'll do str3 dot ASCII's here is your array. Your array. There we go. And then we'll cut a line so we can make the array go underneath. And then should we put commas in between each one? Yeah. And then comma. It's not a and it's just I'm just naming commas so you guys would know. That ASCII's. We'll do a space, comma, and that. Yeah, sounds good. And then that should be it for our dot data. Now let's move on to our dot text. So first, I like to write this, and then oh yeah, we gotta get the address of array. So it's basically like a pointer. So the array of the address points out the first element, and then you increment it based on depends on what you're using. Like integers go by 4, doubles I think go by 8, floats I forgot, but we're gonna do integer today. Oh, you guys can also initialize your array here too, but I'm not. Okay, so load the address. We're gonna load it into S0, and the name of the array is AR. Okay, so now let's do a prompt. So load immediate register v0 for to accept for string types. Load address register a0 for the argument, and we're gonna load in the address of str1, and then syscall to execute the code. So this is gonna tell us how many elements excuse me, how many elements would you like. And now let's do user input. So register v0, 5 is for user input of integer type, and then syscall so it executes that line. Oops, can't spell today. And then we're gonna add it into register S1. Yeah, we're gonna add the user input. S1 is gonna have the register v0 0. So basically, you guys could think about it as this. Sum equals user input plus 0. And then So that's gonna be our thing. So we're gonna want to make a counter. Yeah. So we're gonna add register. We'll do a T0 to make it temporary, and then it's gonna have the value of S1 0. So we just call this our counter to memorize it. Counter. It's good to name it because you guys, especially in assembly, because you will always end up forgetting on my registers and end up having to trace everything down again. Don't drink this. And alright, that's our counter. And yeah, now we can start a loop. So I'll call it loop, so I don't always easily forget. And then our condition is gonna be when T0 is gonna equal 0. So is B equals branch if equals register, oops, S T0 is equal to 0. That's just stands for 0. Then we're gonna go to next. Until then, we're gonna ask for user input. So enter in a value. So load. We're gonna do a little prompt right now. Load immediate. V0 for load address. Load address register V0. Oops. And then what did I call it? str2. Syscall. So it's just another prompt for this part. So load immediate register V0 5 syscall, and we're gonna store them to S2. So add register S2. Do we want to add it here or to the or automatically to the thing? We'll do this. So S story word register S. No, we're gonna add it first, yeah, because V0 is always gonna change first. So add register S2. We don't have S. Yeah, we have S. And then add register B0 0. So it's gonna all the user input's gonna be stored into here. And now we're gonna store it to the address of the array. So S2, that's our user input. This is the syntax for it. This is to get the number of the array or the index. I think that's what I heard, but I haven't messed around with that. But I think that's to mess around with the index. And what did we call the? Okay, S0 is our address of the array. So this is gonna point. Oops. Point to memory address of array starting at index 0. Alright, and then that looks good. And then so now we'll just keep that. And then we're gonna add watch this, S0 plus S0 plus 4 to jump to the next spot of the array since we're doing integers. So oops, why is there a line? Increment pointer of array, increment index of array. Yeah. Why do I have a little thing? I've never seen it before. Why do I have that? That's weird. Okay, I guess I'm gonna get used to it. And then we're gonna add register. What is my counter? T0 -1. So if you guys don't know, it's just basically x equal x minus equals x, same thing as that, or blah blah blah, minus 1, yeah. And then that's gonna be j loop, and then it's gonna be our next. I'll explain everything once I'm done. I'll go through everything again. So now we'll start from the beginning of the array, because if we leave it like this, it's gonna be pointing at the end of the array. So we print it, it's gonna print it out in reverse. I'll just show you guys right now. So basically, we need to do the same thing here to print it out, starting at index 0. Since the array is now it's basically at the end, and if we don't include this, we're gonna subtract 4. We're gonna decrement 4 to print it out, or we're gonna go out of bounds in an array. And then we're gonna initialize our counter again, because I like to do that. What do I have it as? T0 counter. I'll borrow you for a second. Okay. Okay. And then we'll call this outer loop. Oops, outer loop. And here's your array. We should include that. No, why am I? Oh, I just copy and paste this because I don't want to write everything again. And it's tr3. Yes. Okay. Alright, so now the array is pointing at 0. And then we want to do this load word, which is called as reinitialize counter start at index 0 at memory. And then we're gonna load word register S2 0, and then what's the address of array? S0, yeah, S0. I'm going to include that down here, because it's going to be changing every time, because we want to load it all the time. So then down here we're gonna how's it called, provide a prompt. So first we're gonna add the word, so load immediate register, we don't need the comma, register v0, 1 for output, and hold up, cracking about what, and then we're gonna add. So this is how you guys could do we can output user input, and register A0 for the argument. We're gonna add register S2 and then 0, and then syscall. So this would call out everything in our array, and then we'll include the comma to make it look pretty. We just copy and paste this. I don't want to write it all. Comma. Alright. Comma. So I was gonna print everything out, and then we need to increment S0. So add I. Oops, slow computer. S0. S0 4. Or if we didn't include this, we would have to decrement, because we want to go down the array, but we're going up this time. And then we want to decrement our counter to, which is S1, I believe. Nope, T0. T0. Register T0 minus 1. That's why I include comments, because I always end up forgetting on my registers. And then, yep, so that looks good. So then we'll do a J outer loop to keep looping. And then our condition, we don't have a condition. So we'll borrow you real quick. Thank you. And there we go. So then this is next. And then we're load immediate, register v0, 10, syscall. Syscall, this is our exit call. Exit call. And then this is load the values, load the value of the address in array. Is the array. This is just a prompt, comma, user input. I mean, to display user input, increment, decrement. And let's check if I didn't make no mistakes. And I did. Oops, didn't type it right. Syscall. And in line 69, next, already identified. What? Already defined? What do you mean? What you mean? Oh, shoot. I mean, done. Done. This is why you gotta look carefully, guys. Done. And let's check it. How many elements would you like? Let's do 5. Enter the value 10. We'll go down 8, 6, 4, 2, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. Which I do not like that comma at the end. Man. Okay, but that's basically how you do it. So if you guys didn't, if I didn't include this, watch what would happen. 3, 2, 4, 6, 0, 0, 0. Boom. Oh, we want to go backwards. Hold on. Load address. We'll just do this. Load. We gotta decrement. Oh no, hold up. We gotta decrement this. Watch what happens. 3, 2, 4, 6, 0, 6, 4. And you know why we get 0? Because we haven't. Because we're at our random memory address, which by default is set to that 0. So first, because it's like a memory, it starts at that. It doesn't stay at that value. It stays one above it when it's at the end. So we gotta subtract 4 first. So where's the T? Right here. And now scope. Now it's gonna print it on reverse. 2, 3 first. 2, 4, 6. 6, 4, 2. Yep. And that's how you do an array. Peace. Oh shit. I mean, now peace.